Next question. If elected, what criteria will you use to guide your decisions and votes, understanding that some may require you to vote independently of other commissioners and the mayor?
Well, I think the criteria we should all vote on is based upon the facts. You do research, you talk to people, you try to get to the truth, and then you form your decision based upon what's best for the community as a whole, okay? And our community as a whole consists of our resident homeowners, our businesses, and our non-resident homeowners. I think you have to take all that into account making a decision. But, you know, I've been in the IT industry all my life, and one of the things we've learned to do is research because things change so fast. And I would approach it the very same way, is to make sure that I diligently research an issue. And yes, I will rule or form a decision independently.
Well, I am a big believer in doing my homework, and and I do a lot of research to find answers to things. The first thing I would do is in preparing for making a decision is to definitely read the meeting packet that's provided to us for the meeting. I would also inquire with appropriate town staff that would be affected by any of the decisions. I would also reach out to any government officials in the state or in the county that or in our district that would deal with the issues that we're talking about at the meetings. I would also gather input from our town citizens, the ETJ, the businesses, the property owners, and get their input. We have a lot of citizens with a lot of expertise and a lot of good ideas, and we need to put that to good use and get their opinions and hopefully help make us a good decision and a good plan of action to approach any issue or any activity out there. And I would also, if the issue has to do with an ordinance or a code or anything like our state statute or anything like that, I have a really good friend that's the Union County Manager, Brian Matthews, who's been in government for about 30 years, and he's very knowledgeable in that area. So I'm always approaching him and talking to him even when I go and make comments at town meetings to come up with ideas and to get more understanding of these ordinances and statutes. So yeah, I would do a lot of homework and try to do what's best that would be beneficial for our community.
Dave Green again, for those that might not have gotten it the first time. The island really has several different groups of people here to it, and I would represent all of those groups of people. They're all stakeholders in what we do, and every time we have a meeting, we are now getting our information and packet at the same time the island's public is. So there are emails that can get to people that my email is published in several different places. And I will tell you that almost every meeting I get feedback from all levels of people, regular full-time people here and people that have houses that aren't here full-time. So one of the things that kind of sticks out in my mind is that for the first time in the history of the island, last year, the people that are paying property taxes, personal property taxes, like you and I and everybody in here, the new accommodation tax now eclipses what you and I give. So they deserve to be looked at and heard, and I try to do that before I even come to the meeting. Second thing we do is every monthly meeting, before we get to the business at hand, there's a comment section where anybody can come in, sit down, and comment about anything that's on their mind. Thank you. And we never ask, are you a homeowner or are you here full-time or not? It doesn't matter because they all have good ideas. And I try to weigh those ideas and have a good understanding of how we can vote before the vote comes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, any of us that have the privilege of serving, good? That have the privilege of serving, it is incumbent upon us to do quite a bit of homework in preparation for any meeting. And my wife can attest to this. We don't ever agree completely on everything all the time, and that's just normal life. I think everybody has to put themselves in position to see as many different angles of an issue as you can to make the proper decision. It's interesting that you can talk to different people about one issue and get multiple different ideas on how to go forward with a solution. And in working for you, that's the job we have to do. So preparation way in advance of a meeting, going through a packet, talking to staff, individual homeowners, business owners, and those that do spend some time down here on vacation occasionally. It's critical to take that time. And I promise you, if I'm elected, you're going to get 100% of that time, because there's a learning curve for those of us that aren't in politics, haven't been in politicians in the past or held town offices in the past. So we got a lot of questions. I do, and like I say, it's critical to take every piece of information and look at it carefully as you make decisions for a number of different people. There you go, Bob.
Bob Williams. Well, as I said at the other meeting, I learned this the hard way. When I ran the first time, I took a stance, and I'll briefly explain it. I felt like at the time the county was trying to take over our sewer system of the town. And I know that the sewer was one reason that we grew as fast and as well as we have. And I was against it. I did not want to give it up. I wanted the town to keep control. Well, I didn't do any homework. I just pulled that out of the air, and I got egg on my face because I had to retract it. When I found out what was all involved by doing my homework after the fact, kind of like closing the gate after the cows are out, I knew that this was the other direction is where we needed to go. It was going to save about $12 million for the town. Instead of giving it away, the town was going to have to pay $12 million to update the system. Well, didn't have to pay anything because the county had to pay it. So anyway, like I said, I learned the hard way, and I think it's very important to do your homework and find out all the facts. Okay. Thank you.
If you read the town charter, if you read the code of ethics, they refer to the commissioners report to and support and represent the residents of Ocean Isle Beach. That doesn't mean that the decisions that have to be made won't be made in taking into account all of the other constituencies we have, whether that is the businesses, whether that is our guests, whether that is the day trippers, whether that is the part-time owners. But our first responsibility as commissioners is to the residents of Ocean Isle Beach. So I would do two things. If any of you have read my bio will have seen that my first criteria for a decision is, does this decision do harm, or does this decision benefit the residents of Ocean Isle Beach? If it benefits them or is of, its equal weight, then the next question is, will this do harm to the residents of Ocean Isle Beach? Those are the criteria to use for me. I also believe that we need an informed electorate. And so we should make sure that, as was pointed out, the packet gets into everybody's hands, not just those who subscribe to a mailing list, but every single person on this island should see what's going on at a meeting before it ever happens. And then to be able to weigh in prior to that meeting because they may not be able to attend the public session. So I believe in representing you and finding out what the will of you people are, and then doing everything I can to do the right thing for you and for this community. And no, I will not worry about what my colleagues think, whether it be the mayor or several or one colleague, one council or commissioner, excuse me. So I will act independently based on what I know you want.